Kyle threatens an amused Victor, and Sally panics amid a run-in with Adam. At the outdoor cafe, Chelsea and Adam talk about Connor. ZZZ, talk inevitably turns to business, and Adam breaks the news that Victor plans to attack Spectre Charles and Sally. They complain about Victor being a shark. Will the real Adam please stand up? As Chelsea worries about Sally and Billy getting hurt. Adam warns he told him to get on board or get out of the way. Chelsea refuses to have any part of it. Adam thinks his father will calm down eventually. Chelsea's sure he won't, pointing out that the best way to get to Billy is to go after Sally. Chelsea decides they have to stop Victor. She'll take the lead. Adam says they'll have to impress him enough with their idea that he'll stop talking about taking Newman Media back. Sally appears, having overheard him, and confronts them. A thaw in relations. At the ranch, an irked Nikki throws her fork down when she can't find the food on her plate. Victoria suggests a walk, but ruins it when she tries weaving Victor into the plan. As Victor creeps up behind an unsuspecting Nikki, she muses that he can be a wonderful man when he chooses to be. Victor wishes Nikki good morning and offers to let her have the master bedroom. She doesn't want to put him out. Victoria invites him to join them for a walk, but he declines. Nikki tells him she'll find out today when the bandages will come off. He'd like to be there. She'd like that too. A thaw. Diane's fears. At the Abbott mansion, Kyle assures Diane that Jack will be home soon and they'll put this behind them. Diane shakes her head, not until they find out what happens with Patty. She fears she'll get out on bail. They joke about burning sage to rid the mansion of Patty's presence as Michael shows up with the news that Patty did not get bail. Kyle announces he has to go take care of something and leaves. Michael and Diane go over her ordeal, and she admits she's exhausted. She's pleased to hear that all charges have been dropped against her. Michael crows about Patty staying locked up for the rest of her days. If she even looks at the exit, he'll be on her like a monkey on a cupcake. Diane admits she's not okay and tears up over being locked up in a man's home, and admits she had to open up about what happened with Jack and Patty in the process, and realized why it brought so much up for her. She loves Jack more than she hates what he did. Wait, what he did? Diane resumes worrying about what will happen with Patty, and then asks about Markham. Michael says they have a warrant for his arrest, but there's no sign of him anywhere. Diane panics. He could still come after her. Michael tries reassuring her, but she explains that the man gave her and Tracy the chills. Standing up to the man, Kyle walks into the ranch, where Victor asks him what he wants. Kyle supposes he's heard about his father. Victor feigns concern, asking how he's doing. Kyle says he's fine, no thanks to him for bringing Patty back. Victor scoffs. Did he force Jack to have sex with Patty Williams? Kyle informs him that his plan didn't work. His parents are back together. How's Nikki, by the way? He needles. Victor threatens to have him removed from the property. Kyle reminds him payback goes both ways and time is on his side. He used to look up to Victor. What happened to that guy he admired? Kyle and Victor go back and forth until the Newman hollers that he'll never take him down. Any attempt at putting him down is useless. Kyle should go home and be the ineffectual man his family wants him to be. Kyle wouldn't want to be like Victor. He warns that an Abbott will take him down. Victor snarks, shiver me timbers. I can hardly wait. Nikki's concern. At Crimson Lights, Esther sympathizes with Nikki over her eye surgery. She's sure Mrs. C is looking out for her. Flustered after using the word looking, she toddles off to get tea. Nikki worries to Victoria that she'll never get her sight back. Her daughter reassures her. The final scenes. At the outdoor cafe, Sally warns Adam and Chelsea if they come after her company, they'll sue. She wonders if this is about Billy being offered a job at Chancellor. Adam's eyebrows fly up at the unexpected news, but he explains that they plan to fight Victor on this. Sally appreciates that, but Victor usually gets what he wants, and Adam always backs down when it comes to his father. They try convincing her otherwise, but she's not comforted. Anyway, thank you for the heads up. At Crimson Lights, Victoria is busy assuring Nikki she has every right to feel morose, when Kyle appears and fills them in on Diane and Jack nearly dying thanks to Patty. And Victor, given he's the one who brought her to town. At the Abbott mansion, Diane thanks Michael for being in her corner and confesses that she thought about doing something drastic to get away from Markham. If she'd crossed that line, she knows he'd have defended her. Michael will always be there for her. They hug. At the ranch, Victor orders someone to get him an update on Jack's condition and on Patty's arraignment. He wants to know if all the charges will stick. After disconnecting, he chuckles to himself and mutters, "Haha, let him bring it on, man." The boardroom was silent except for the rhythmic tapping of rain against the towering windows. Every executive at Hartwell Industries sensed that the meeting had shifted from business to something far more personal. Kyle Morgan stood at the end of the polished conference table, his jaw tight and his fists clenched. Across from him, Victor Hale leaned comfortably in his chair, wearing the kind of confident smile that had frustrated rivals for decades. "You think you've already won," Kyle said, his voice steady despite the anger simmering beneath it. Victor folded his hands. "No, Kyle, I know I have." A few executives exchanged nervous glances. Nobody interrupted. Nobody dared. Kyle took one deliberate step forward. "You've taken my contracts, pressured my investors, and spread rumors about my company. But this ends now. If you come after my team again, I'll fight back with everything I've got." Victor chuckled softly. Instead of looking threatened, he looked entertained. "I've heard stronger speeches from interns on their first day." The room grew colder. Kyle expected resistance, maybe even outrage. Victor's amusement irritated him more than any angry response could have. "You think this is funny?" "I think," Victor replied, rising from his chair, "that passion without strategy is simply noise." The words landed like a slap. Kyle stared at him for a long moment before grabbing his folder and walking toward the exit. "This isn't over." Victor's smile never faded. "I certainly hope not." The door slammed behind Kyle. Only after he left did Victor allow himself a quiet laugh. Across town, Sally Bennett hurried through the crowded downtown plaza while checking messages on her phone. Everything had gone wrong that morning. A major client wanted revisions. Her designer had called in sick. Her biggest investor demanded an emergency meeting. And Kyle had sent a cryptic text that simply read, "Don't trust anyone today." She read it again. What did that even mean? Before she could respond, she rounded a corner and collided hard with someone walking in the opposite direction. Papers flew everywhere. "Oh, I'm so sorry." She looked up. Her heart skipped. Adam Cross. He recognized her immediately. "Sally." His calm voice contrasted sharply with the chaos around them. She quickly knelt to gather her scattered documents. "I didn't see you." "I noticed." He crouched beside her and picked up several pages before handing them over. "You look stressed." "I'm fine." "You don't look fine." Sally forced a polite smile. "I've had a busy day." Adam studied her for a moment longer than felt comfortable. "Busy or worried?" The question hit closer than she expected. "I'm just trying to keep my company together." "And Kyle?" She hesitated. "What about him?" "I heard he visited Victor this morning." Her expression changed instantly. "You heard that?" Adam smiled slightly. "News travels fast." Sally's pulse quickened. If Adam already knew about Kyle's confrontation, who else knew? More importantly, what had Victor planned in response? Adam noticed the concern spreading across her face. "Something tells me this isn't just business." She looked away. Sometimes business becomes personal. That's usually when people make mistakes. His words lingered in the air. Sally thanked him for helping collect the papers and started walking away. Adam called after her. "Tell Kyle something for me." She stopped but didn't turn around. He should be careful who he threatens. Those words sent a chill through her. Without another reply, she continued down the sidewalk. By evening, Kyle sat alone in his office overlooking the city skyline. The confrontation replayed endlessly in his mind. Victor hadn't been intimidated. He hadn't even appeared concerned. That confidence bothered Kyle more than he wanted to admit. His phone rang. "Sally." He answered immediately. "You okay?" "Barely." "What happened?" "I ran into Adam." Kyle sat upright. "Where?" "Downtown." "What did he say?" Sally hesitated. "He knows you confronted Victor." Kyle frowned. "Impossible. He knew." Silence filled the line. Finally Kyle sighed. Then Victor wanted people to know. Why would he do that? Because he wants everyone watching. Sally closed her eyes. That sounded exactly like something Victor would do. "So what now?" Kyle looked out over the glittering skyline. "Now we prepare." "For what?" "For whatever move comes next." Miles away, Victor stood on the balcony of his estate with a glass of sparkling water in hand. His longtime advisor approached quietly. "You seemed amused today." Victor nodded. "Kyle has determination. You don't see him as a threat." Victor smiled toward the distant city lights. "Oh, I do." The advisor looked surprised. "Then why provoke him?" Victor's smile widened. "Because people reveal themselves under pressure. And Kyle is finally showing me exactly who he is." The advisor considered that. "And Sally?" Victor remained silent for several moments. "She's standing in the middle of a storm she didn't create. Will she survive it?" Victor looked toward the horizon. "That depends on which side she chooses." Meanwhile, Sally sat alone in her apartment, replaying every conversation she'd had that day. Kyle's warning, Victor's confidence, Adam's unsettling message. None of it felt random. Someone was setting pieces into place. She opened her laptop and reviewed company files, searching for anything unusual. At first, everything appeared normal. Then she noticed it. A confidential proposal had been accessed only an hour earlier by someone who shouldn't have had permission. Her breathing quickened. She clicked deeper into the security logs. Another unauthorized login. Then another. Someone had been watching her company for weeks. Her phone buzzed. An unknown number. She hesitated before answering. "Hello." A calm voice spoke. "You're asking the wrong questions." The line went dead. Sally stared at the phone in disbelief. Outside, thunder rolled across the night sky. Somewhere in the darkness, someone already knew her next move. And for the first time since this dangerous game began, Sally realized she wasn't simply caught between powerful rivals. She had become the target. As lightning illuminated the city, 3 people looked toward the same skyline. Kyle preparing for battle, Victor quietly anticipating his next move, and Sally wondering whether trust had become the most dangerous risk of all. The game had only just begun.